Hey y'all! So today we're going to be talking about, we're gonna have a little girl talk. So I feel like, everybody needs advice every once in a while. Some people may not know what to do, especially being, like a young female. I'm going to share some of my experiences, some products I use for certain things, stuff like that. So I made like kind of a list for some of the topics. I don't know if I'll be covering all of them, but I made a list for most of them. So the first one is hygiene. Hygiene is very, very important to me, only because like I don't like, for anybody to be like, oh well, you stink or you smell a certain way, or I don't like the way you smell. That has always been one of my number one fears. I don't care whether it's my breath, I don't care what it is. I really have a fear of being told like I stink or something like that. So I do always try to make sure I take very good care of my hygiene. And as a female, that should always be your number one priority anyway, as trying to upkeep your hygiene. It's not cute to walk around smelling like a bag of onions. Definitely not. But some of the stuff that I use, I'll like include in the video, include like the names, where I got them from. If I can find prices, I will include the prices as well. Yeah, so I use like, I wouldn't say a lot of products, but I guess we could start with like showering first. So when I shower, I usually use Dr. Bronner's. So my favorite one is the peppermint. I don't know if you can see, if I gotta focus. This you could pretty much get anywhere. That one I got from Walmart, but they also have it in Walmart, they have it in Target, they have it on Amazon, and in your local beauty supply store. Well, mine has it. I'm not sure how everyone else's works, but personally I would rate that a 10 out of 10. It does leave you feeling very squeaky clean. It leaves you smelling good. It's definitely good for your pH balance. Like, yeah, make sure you're clean down there, and when you wash well, as a female, you should know you're not supposed to put soap like up there. So yeah. As for what I wash with, I use gloves. This is a brand new pair. They haven't been washed yet. I mean, they haven't been used yet. So I just want to show, like, this is what I use. I personally love to use the gloves only because I feel like I can get everywhere and be comfortable, because I could put my fingers in certain places, and I feel like I could clean myself better with them. So that's definitely something that I use. So what I usually do is wash twice with the Dr. Bronner's, and then lather up with like maybe like a body wash. So like maybe a Dove body wash or Bath and Body Works. It really does depend on your preference. Me, I like to use my favorite one right now is the Strawberry Shortcake body wash from Bath and Body Works, and I absolutely love that. Like, I come out the shower smelling so good, and it just makes me feel good to smell good. As far as brushing my teeth, I use Colgate toothpaste. It doesn't really matter. Toothpaste is your preference. I just like the brand of Colgate. As for mouthwash, I use TheraBreath, if it wants to focus. And then I have the Rainforest Mint. So I actually saw that on Pinterest and I was like, okay, well, I've heard about it a couple times and I've never really got to use it. So my first day using it, it was actually very good. Like my breath didn't smell like anything. And it's supposed to last for 12 hours. Yeah, it's supposed to last for 12 hours. So you're supposed to rinse for like 60 seconds. Yeah, you're supposed to rinse for 60 seconds and then you could gargle for 30 seconds so it could get like the bad odors like out of your throat, because that's where bad breath comes from. Usually I do both. Yeah, I do both. And my breath smells like nothing all day. It doesn't matter if I eat McDonald's, pizza. So yeah, I mean, I try and take care of my teeth only because I have braces and I don't want to be smiling at somebody's face and I have like food stuck everywhere. That's such a turn off. But yeah, as far as face, I use Cetaphil. And I have like the little scrub brush. Mine is pink. But yeah, I am trying to clear my skin back up. Since starting birth control, my face has broken out just a little bit. So it has been hard, a little bit harder, because usually I never really got acne like that. But yeah, I've been using Cetaphil and it's been clearing back up, which is actually really good. And then after I finish, I use the CeraVe lotion. And that just helps moisturize. So since my nose, like my T-zone, is very oily on my face, that's just the part that I avoid when I put lotion on my face, only because it feels like I'm smothered afterwards and I definitely do not like that feeling. I'm sorry. I use witch hazel before I put the lotion on, just to give my face like that extra little clean. I know some people use witch hazel and micellar water. Personally, I'm not really a fan of using micellar water unless I use makeup, only because it is just a little bit oily and I don't like that feeling on my skin. So usually after I have makeup on, what I would do is use the wipes, then I use micellar water, and then I wash my face off completely, and everything, it comes out fine. There's no more makeup left on my face and my skin feels better, feels a lot better. So now let me see what the next topic was. I was gonna cover the topic of sex, but but I don't know, I feel like that's something that every woman, well, every young female will experience. My first time, it wasn't bad. Only thing I will say is if you can wait, I think you should. I definitely think you should. Only because it's not how people make it seem. It's not. Like, once you know, do it for the first time, that's it. It's not like a magical feeling that everybody says I don't know. Personally, I would say wait if you can. But everybody is different. So now, birth control. So I am on birth control. There's like a bunch of different techniques. Yeah, a bunch of different contraceptives, I guess I should say. But the one that I use is the patch. I've never used anything else. I've only been using the patch. I've been on it for a couple months. And it's honestly, it's not that bad. Like in the beginning I was a little worried, only because of like mood swings and like weight gain. In my first 2 months, my mood swings were crazy, and I did feel like really bad after snapping on, you know, everybody for very small things. And that's normal with any birth control, whether it be the pill, the shot, the patch, or pretty much whatever other one that you use. I did gain a little bit of weight. I didn't gain too much, but I did gain a little bit, enough to where it was noticeable. And it kind of did affect me a little bit, only because like certain things that I could fit a week ago, I couldn't fit now, and it had only been a few days since I tried it on. So that did make me feel away. But as time goes on, you do get over it. You start to feel comfortable in your new body, even though all your hormones are going crazy. You do still start to feel comfortable. Birth control is not for everybody. This is my very first time still experiencing it, and it's been just a little bit rough, but it hasn't been too rough. Only thing I would recommend when you're on birth control is making sure that you have someone there with you, just so you don't feel alone. Being on birth control, it really does mess with your hormones, your mental health, everything, and I would definitely recommend having someone there that you can talk to when you have those moments where you feel like you're alone, and where you feel like, you know, you don't want to do it anymore. I would definitely say don't get on birth control to avoid having a baby, because you can most definitely still get pregnant on birth control. So if you are on it, whether it be the pill, the patch, the shot, always still try to make sure that you are safe when you're on it. But yeah, I don't really think I have much more to say about it. But my experience in the first 2 to 3 months, it was very terrible. I cried all the time. I was very upset. I was like snapping on everybody for no reason. I was very upset at work. I felt very alone. I threw away a lot of my clothes, only because I couldn't fit it anymore. And like when people would make certain comments about me getting thick or gaining weight, it would make me a little bit angry, but I wouldn't show it. It would make me feel away, but you know, not everybody knows. They just think that they're giving you a compliment, when in reality, you know, that kind of hurts your feelings. But of course they don't know, so you can't like be too upset. But I mean, I'm fine now. My weight is steady. I'm not gaining anymore. I'm not losing any at the moment. Right now I feel like I'm at a good weight, something that I want to stay at. But as for getting on birth control, if this was your first time, like it was my first time, I would definitely recommend having someone there for you. Having somebody that listens to you and maybe can relate. Or always speak to your OBGYN about what's best for you. Don't be pressured into being on birth control, because in the end it will not work out for you how you think it will. It will only hurt your feelings just a little bit more, or destroy you just a little bit more. Pads versus tampons. I've always been a pad kind of girl, only because I was always very scared to use tampons. I was never one to just like insert anything inside of me. So when it came to what product I would use, I was always more comfortable with using pads. I do have friends that use tampons. They said that they like it better than pads, and it's your preference. It's your preference. I've never personally used a tampon, so I would not be able to share how it feels, how can you use it, what's the benefits, things like that. I've heard, you know, certain stories about people forgetting to take their tampons out and how it's uncomfortable. But again, it is everybody's preference. I just prefer pads because I feel like it's just a little bit easier for me, especially if, well, it's not for everybody. I know some people that do use both because they do have a heavy cycle. I only use the pads. My cycle it isn't heavy. It's like in the medium stage, I guess. But yeah, it's not heavy enough to where I feel like I have to use a tampon or something like that. And I've never really used them, so I don't want to speak on them and then give the wrong information to anybody. And that leads me to my next topic, which would be menstrual cycles. So I know as a young female, you're growing up, especially like if you're in middle school, say maybe about like 6th, 7th grade, that's typically when people do get their cycles. My advice, because I know when I did first get mine, I was very scared. I didn't know what was going on. My mom did have to explain to me, you know, like what it was, what it means, and stuff like that. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. Some people don't get cramps. Some people get cramps all day. Some people bleed for a day. Some people bleed for 10 days. So it really just depends on your body. My cycle is pretty normal. I bleed for about 4 days, and it's not heavy at all. It's like medium-ish, I guess. I don't really know how to describe it, but yeah, my advice to someone who's like, you know, just getting theirs, or, you know, not really kind of understanding of it, I would say don't really be scared. You can ask your female guardian or female figure what it was like when they first got theirs. You can Google it. I'm sure it's like videos on people who got their first period and who didn't know what to do, and who can offer advice and stuff like that. There's what was I about to say? As far as cramps, I do get cramps, but not as bad as I used to. I used to get such bad cramps. Like, I used to be hunched over in school. Like, could barely even lift my head up off the desk type of cramps. It was so bad. But as I've gotten older, of course your body changes, so it hasn't been as bad at all. My cramps, like, I can work through. I can sit through them. I can stand up. I can move around, and they wouldn't affect me as much as they used to, which I feel like is very good for me, because I used to be very dramatic with them. Like when I was in high school, especially like my freshman and sophomore year, I would definitely always call my parents to come pick me up anytime I got my menstrual while I was in school, only because I knew my cramps were going to be very bad, and they ended up being very bad. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, if you're young and, you know, you're getting your first period, I would definitely recommend speaking with like someone who you look up to, a female that you look up to. It's not scary, you know, you live through it. They have methods to, you know, if you feel like your cramps are too bad, or if you feel like your period is something that really does bother you and really does make you very sick, then they do have certain types of birth control that will help, and that will stop your period so you don't get super bad cramps, or so you don't, you know, be hunched over, throwing up and stuff like that. I want to talk about body image and body dysmorphia. So I do struggle with body dysmorphia. I am very insecure about certain parts of my body, and I don't like when people talk about them, only because I feel like, okay, well, if they see this little imperfection, it's like they're gonna judge me. I've always been like that due to the fact of my weight going up and down. So, you know, people would compliment me, and, you know, when my weight was up, oh, you're so thick, you look so good, and blah, blah, blah. But then, you know, when the weight would go down, it's, oh, you're losing a lot of weight. Like, are you okay? You're very skinny, and things like that. Some people don't realize it can really affect someone in a negative way, and it's not good at all. So if you notice somebody losing weight, you know, you don't have to point it out. If you notice somebody gaining weight, don't put it out. It's not that hard to mind your business. But yeah, that's just something that I've always struggled with, and I never really opened up to anybody about it, only because I felt like, you know, well, I thought it was normal, and it's, you know, now that I'm realizing it's not normal. It's not normal to not love your own body, and which you should, definitely. And if you feel like you don't love your body at times, they do have like certain exercises and stuff that you can do to help yourself boost your confidence or boost your self-esteem and things like that. And definitely talking to someone who has the same struggles as you will definitely help you. It'll help you realize that, you know, you're not alone. There's many people that feel the same way that you do, and it can definitely help you overcome that. It can definitely help you learn to love your body and not be, you know, upset when you lose a certain amount of weight, or be upset when you gain a certain amount of weight and things like that. Self-care and personal hygiene, those are my top priorities. Only because I love to look good, I love to feel good, I love to smell good. That has always been my thing since I was a little girl. I love to make sure my hair is done, love to make sure my nails is done, love to make sure that I just look good in general. Only because when you go outside and you look, you know, like a certain way, you feel a certain way. Like if you don't look good, you don't feel good sometimes. When you look good, you feel good sometimes. So that's just something that I've always tried to keep up with myself. Ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to have my hair done, always wanted to have my nails and toes done, always wanted to make sure I had on a nice outfit, nice accessories, things like that. So as I've gotten older, it's definitely gotten much better to where, you know, I can dress myself how I want to dress myself, and I won't be judged, you know, things like that. And to stop caring about what certain people have to say about your outfits. They don't buy your clothes, they don't wash your clothes, they don't fold it, they don't dress you, so who cares? You know, if you feel comfortable wearing something, I don't see what the problem is. And growing up, that definitely helped me, because I've always been one to be very shy when it came to wearing certain things, like especially with like my stomach out or having all my legs out or things like that. So as I've gotten older, it's definitely gotten much better. Now I'm very much confident in most of the things that I wear, only because I feel like, you know, they don't buy what I wear. They're not my mom. If my mom says she's okay with me wearing a crop top or having my back out or wearing booty shorts, then why should I care what other people think? Maintaining your image, well, no, let me not say that. Maintaining maintaining yourself, meaning your mental health, your physical health, things like that. Again, personal hygiene should definitely be one of your top priorities, especially as a female. You know, as a guy, it's definitely important to do that too. Me personally, bad hygiene is the #1 turn off for me, and it has always been the #1 turn off for me. Even if we were friends, even if I had a female friend that didn't smell good, or a guy friend that didn't smell good, I would want someone to tell me when I don't have a good day in terms of hygiene. So I definitely will pull someone to the side and just let them know privately, and not, you know, embarrass them or humiliate them. Only because I've seen how that affects certain people, and I would never put anyone else in that situation, especially because I don't want to be put in that situation. So, I mean, I would definitely say take care of yourself. As far as mental health, there are many hotlines out there, and many people that are probably going through the same thing that you're going through. And it's okay to get help. It's okay to not be okay. And that saying has really helped me a lot, especially within the past couple of years. It's okay to cry. It's okay to let it out. It's okay to let somebody see you sad. It's okay. You never know what someone is going through, and you never know, you sharing your story can inspire them to share their story. That can inspire them to help someone. So you never really know. But it is okay to not be okay. It's okay to accept help, and that's something that I am struggling with. Only because I've been so independent for all these years. I've never wanted anyone to see me cry. I've never wanted anyone to see me sad or down or at my lowest at all. Only because I felt like, okay, I have to keep a smile on. I can't let nobody see me down. I can't let nobody see me at my lowest where I'm crying. I don't know what to do. It's okay to not be okay. And that's something that I've definitely learned within the past couple of years, and it does help. It does help. There are many outlets out there that will help you express how you feel. One thing that I do is I have a hard time talking about my feelings. So what I do is I journal it. I may write it down in a notebook. I may write it down in my notes. But it is your preference. Yeah. It is your preference, definitely. Yeah. That pretty much wraps up the video. This wasn't really gonna be a long one. I just wanted to share like some things, especially because when I was growing up, I didn't really have anybody to talk to me about certain things. So I really do hope this video helps somebody, at least one person, somebody. If you have any tips or advice or anything, you can leave it in the comments. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for my next video.